Hello YouTube! It's been a couple of months since my last orthodontic vlog, and I believe in that one I was talking about getting my braces removed at the end of May. Well, as you can see, that hasn't happened. Since my last vlog, my whole orthodontic journey has been a bit of a nightmare. So, going back to the very beginning, I think the last vlog was on March the 15th, and I'd just seen my orthodontist, and she put a couple of tweaks in the wire on the back left. And so I haven't bothered to re-watch that video because I hate watching videos of myself back because I hate seeing my face. But yeah, I think, I'm not sure if I mentioned in that one, I'd seen my orthodontist the week before that, on March the 8th, because I was in a lot of pain from the braces, so the tight feelings all the way round, and like you usually get before you need to have the wire changed, but it was a week too early for that. So I've been back to my orthodontist and asked about the pain, but she wasn't able to shed any light on why I was in pain. So she had a look at my teeth. She thought maybe I had cavities, but I hadn't. And as I say, it was like tight feelings in the top wire anyway, and I was finding it hard to eat, and etc, etc, as probably most people with braces will be familiar with. So, anyway, I saw her on March the 15th, got the wire adjusted, and we were trying to move the molars on the left to correct this last little bit of my bite so that the braces could be removed at the end of May. So, my orthodontist told me she was going on holiday, and I thought nothing of it. We booked an appointment for when she got back, start of May, and then hopefully I was going to go back again. As I say, actually it was supposed to be today, and that would be my second appointment when I would get the braces removed. So, come the following weekend after I saw her, I became aware of a broken bracket, or something wrong with the bracket, on the top left. Just suddenly felt something moving, felt that the wire had come out of the back bracket, went and looked in the mirror, and I noticed, while I was trying to put the wire back in, that the bracket in front of the back one, like the one next to the back one, I'm sounding drunk today, but I promise I'm not. Basically there was something wrong with it, but I couldn't tell if it was the gate that held the wire in place, or if it had completely come unglued from the tooth and turned over, but there was definitely something wrong. So I rang the orthodontic clinic, but as I say, my orthodontist was on holiday, so I wasn't able to get an appointment until the very end of April. They brought my next appointment forward a week, but that was all they could do. I wasn't even able to get an appointment with the dentist there until April the 2nd, which was like the Tuesday after it happened. It happened at a weekend, and it's like 10, 11 days later I managed to get an appointment with the dentist. By that time I'd managed to get the wire back into the back bracket, which was holding the rest of the line in place, but the dentist decided to take it upon herself to cut the wire off to get me out of pain, because she thought the wire was sticking in my cheek. Yeah. As you can imagine, that was disastrous, because basically she cut it right at just behind the canine there, which meant that all of these severely out of place left molars, which we were having so much trouble with anyway, no longer had any support from the brace at all. All the pressure was on the right hand side, and all of my teeth, all the good work that had been done over the past 2 years started to move out of place. The front teeth started moving forward, the bite that had been corrected, it all went out of place, and it was a complete nightmare. And actually, for trying to get me out of pain, she cut the wire quite roughly, left it sticking out into my cheek. And since there was no bracket behind, I was no longer able to poke the wire back into place, because actually the bracket that I'd noticed there was something wrong with, as soon as she cut the wire it just came straight off, because apparently, as I'd suspected, it had broken off and flipped over. But the dentist wasn't able to tell me why, of course, because she's not an orthodontist. So I was sent home in worse pain than I'd gone in. No braces at all on the left side, not even able to wear the elastic until my orthodontist came back from holiday. So we continued to complain to the practice because I was in worse and worse pain, and obviously all the work was being undone. And eventually they agreed to pay for me to go to a different clinic in Baker Street, where I saw an absolutely charming orthodontist who managed to fix the brace for me, and she was able to tell me that the bracket had broken because there was just too much stress on it, basically, because they were trying to get so much movement so quickly on the top left, and my bite was so severely out of place. The bracket had just been, the glue couldn't take it. So she had to put a much thinner wire on, because if she put a thick wire on, the same thing would have happened, because obviously the bracket, it's not making any sense at all. The wire, if I'd had a thicker wire that went through the bracket, the same thing would have happened, because the thicker wire would have forced it at the same rate, and by this point the teeth were so far out of place on the left hand side that she had to go right back to about 3 wires down from the thickness that I'd had. And this was the wire that she cut off. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that, but you can see what a mess it was, because that's the right hand side. That's where my dentist had cut the wire. See the little kinks that my orthodontist had been putting in it, desperately trying to get those back left molars to move. Yeah, so that was a complete nightmare. But at least once the Baker Street orthodontist put the wire back in place, no more damage was done, and we could start correcting the damage that had already been done. So I went back to see my regular orthodontist on April the 26th, and she put a slightly thicker wire on, but my teeth still weren't ready for the wire that she'd already had on before she went on holiday, because I couldn't go back to that thicker wire because there was still too much movement, and obviously the bracket would have just broken off again. So yeah, I had to go back today, and I've been in terrible pain ever since the orthodontist put that slightly thicker wire on. The whole 5 weeks. That pain that you usually get after they change the wires, I've just had it continuously. Headaches and toothache, just trying to correct everything that went wrong. Been through it all over again. And then today I went back, and she tried the thicker wire, the one that I had before she went on holiday, right back in March, and we still can't get it back in. And I mean, it's awful. The delays have just really upset me, because I've been through so much time and pain with it I was so pleased with the results, and it just set me right back, you know. And I can't even think of anything to say. I'm just so depressed right now, because I should be doing a celebratory vlog today showing you my nice smile, and instead of that I'm actually further behind than I was before. But the orthodontist is still talking about removing the braces the time after next, but I think she's been a bit optimistic and trying to rush things through, because obviously we've fallen so far behind. I'm also noticing that I've got a bit of a lisp, which I'm sure everyone else is hearing today, and that's worrying me as well, because I didn't have that before the braces broke. I don't know if it's a permanent thing, because I think the front teeth are still moving back while they're still correcting the bite, so I'm a bit worried that I'm going to end up with this lisp. And oh, it's also very annoying because my dear friend in Canada has paid to send me on a musical theatre course, which is like my lifelong dream. 12 weeks, I'm already 6 weeks through it. I'm performing in my very first musical at the end of June, and I'm gonna still be in braces, which should have been off. Yeah, so it's all very annoying and just complete madness. And my mouth is in such a mess now. My orthodontist, the regular one that is, not the Baker Street one, today, she couldn't even manage to get the hooks back in place for the elastics. She's had to put a different type of hook on, which won't fix to the bracket. Like, you can see that this one is a loop. It's a bit bright in here, but hopefully you can see. Yeah, it's like a little loop, whereas this one is just one pillar or whatever, and that only fixes onto the wire behind. So you can see it's the irregular loop would be on the bracket, and this one's behind. I'm not sure if that's going to slow down progress as well, because that's how the elastics are supposed to look. That lisp is driving me crazy. I'm not going to be able to watch this video back either, so apologies if I've made a complete mess of it. And just the obligatory showing off my progress, which is actually going backwards. I hate the elastics. They make me look like a ventriloquist doll or something. I think that's it, really. Not the most optimistic vlog in the world, but hopefully the braces will be off before too long. And congratulations to those of you who've been telling me about getting your braces removed. I'm very happy for you, but you're making me sick. So, yeah, continue with your comments and questions and whatever else you might want to say to the depressive orthodontic traveller. Yeah, I'm really not with it today. I'm not quite sure where I think I'm travelling with my wonderful braces, because I can't even book to go and do my work experience. I was hoping to go to a ranch in Canada this summer to do some voluntary work, and I can't even book to do that, so the braces are really getting on my nerves now. So please keep your fingers crossed for me, everyone, and with a bit of luck they'll be off before too long. Touch wood. And thank you for watching, everybody, and if you've got any questions, feel free to ask, etc, etc. You know the YouTube jargon. Comments below. Thanks for watching. Goodbye!